What's up everyone? The nominations have been revealed and is a betrayal in sight, and meanwhile is one celebrity thinking of quitting the competition. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Okay, let's jump right into it folks. So Chris Kirkpatrick is of course the head of household right now, and he decided to nominate for eviction Mirai and Chris Kattan. Not exactly what a lot of us were hoping for, but that's the nominations folks for this round. We've got Mirai and Chris Kattan on the block. Okay, so as far as we know, Mirai is the target, not Chris Kattan, but of course we know in Big Brother, the pawn can often go home, and that could be the case this week. So we'll talk a little, we'll do some target talk for a moment. Sounds like a segment, we'll do some target talk just for a second. And I guess the big question is actually, is it going to be one of them who actually gets evicted by the end of this round? Because from what people are discussing, it sounds like there may be a little betrayal potentially going to happen. Not going to lie, I've kind of got my fingers crossed for it. I know a lot of you guys probably do too when we get to it. But yeah, and I will say this as well straight away. What I like about the fact Mirai has been nominated again is the fact she's not complaining. We see so many people go, oh my god, I've been on the block for 2 weeks straight now. And yes, I can imagine that's incredibly mentally draining. And it's understandable when people go on like that. But when they don't, it kind of makes it more admirable. I mean, she's been on the block 11 or 12 days now. You know, and so pretty much since the start she's been on the block and she hasn't complained once, so hats off to her. I think that's I think that's very admirable. But anyway, it seems like Mirai is the target of Chris Kirkpatrick. I am disappointed in Chris Kirkpatrick. He's given all these kind of generic BB phrases of, you know, it's too early to make a big move and I don't want to ruffle feathers, and it's just all that boring generic crap basically. I really don't think you can say in the celebrity season it's too early to make a big move because we're almost halfway through already. So that's just a bunch of BS if you ask me. I don't really find that admirable. I'd love to find what everybody else thinks on Chris Kirkpatrick's nominations. I think it would have been much bolder to try and get a big social threat out. Even if it's not a big social threat, a big physical threat. I guess Mirai is kind of that, but I feel like she's not a threat to Chris Kirkpatrick at this point. She's not going to put Chris Kirkpatrick up if she does win head of household. So I don't know. I feel like he's kind of playing Misha's game. I feel like he's kind of playing the HOH's game. But moving on from that, an interesting point would be to note that a lot of talk between Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna was going on about Todrick. And for days now, we've talked about how Todrick's game is going to come blow up in his own face because he's over there, he's over there, he's up there, he's down there, you know, and he's kind of promising loyalty to everybody. And then it seems like while the feeds were off, you know, before we actually got to see them, it was kind of some kind of exposed party of Todrick, and everybody found out. And Chris Kirkpatrick even said yesterday, Todrick is so far up Misha's butt, and I totally agree because he is sucking up to her so hard. And I'm tweeting all the time, I'm putting on my Twitter, I'm saying I really struggle to root for somebody who plays the HOH's game. It's such a cowardly style of gameplay, and it's such a, oh god, it reminds me of just think about, do you know people who whine when they're in trouble in Big Brother? Because I can tell you for a fact, as soon as Todrick's in trouble, he's probably going to whine, and then, you know, as soon as somebody else is in power, they're just sucking up to the power, and there's nothing like redeemable or you know, respectable about that kind of gameplay in my it's a style, it's a gameplay style, and it works and it can get you to the end, but for me as a viewer, I hate it. I really don't think it's a gameplay style I can respect. I'd rather vote the floater to win at the end than somebody who kissed the HOH's butt. That's a bold statement I'm making right there. Obviously, I'd have to, if I was on the jury, I'd have to kind of really weigh my options out. But face value, I respect somebody who floated through the process more than somebody who kissed the HOH's butt and then basically just rides off their coattails. I don't like that at all. Yeah. It's a no from me. But anyway, there's all this talk of, you know, Todrick, he's promising loyalty to everybody. So there is this idea going around that potentially there could be a backdoor situation of Todrick, which I don't know if you've guessed, folks, but I could certainly get on board with. I would like that a lot. I have to lean into the mic there just to emphasize it. But yeah, I would really certainly like that. That's not me hating Todrick. I just don't like his gameplay style. And for me, Chris Kattan is an absolute gem of a human being. He just seems like a really nice person, a stand-up guy. And Mirai, I don't think it's a great move to take her out. It doesn't make logical sense. Todrick is a loose cannon. And as a viewer, I don't like watching somebody who sucks up to the HOH, and it would satisfy me greatly to see somebody like that evicted this early. So yes, I'm totally on board with that idea. Whether Chris Kirkpatrick is going to, I was going to say grow the balls, but it's probably, you know, I would say, because I feel like he's there already to potentially do it. I feel like he just needs that push and a shove, but he's so close with Misha. Misha probably wouldn't allow him to do that. Shayna needs to get in his ear, and the outsiders need to basically kind of, Carson and Cynthia specifically, because they've got sway, they've got good social games. They can persuade Chris Kirkpatrick to do it as long as they're saying the right things at the right time. They can get Todrick on the block and out the door, sayonara. That can happen if they say the right things at the right time. But as of now, it seems like Mirai is the target. And if she comes off, then it's going to be Chris Kattan heading out the door unless Todrick goes up on the block. Misha was saying to Chris Kirkpatrick that Mirai is somebody who can be an asset to us. So Misha is actually pushing for Chris Kattan to be evicted, which I am not happy with at all. I'm not happy with either Mirai or Chris Kattan being the target. It doesn't sit well with me, but it's Big Brother, and we have to expect the unexpected, and often our favourites go home early, or they get saved last second, and that's the wonder of Big Brother. So I'm still in it to win it, and I'm still happy to watch. But anyway, he's saying, you know, Mirai wasn't a problem for you, Chris, until you put her on the block. So that's why we need to get rid of Chris Kattan. What a weak move. What's Chris Kattan got to do? No offence, but I mean, it doesn't seem like he's going to win many physical comps, and I mean, he might win some mental comps. It seems like he was actually close to winning the head of household competition this time round, which is kind of quite sad, because I was hoping he would win head of household. But yeah, I just don't think it's a great move to take Chris Kattan out. It doesn't make sense, and I think there's more argument for taking Mirai out, but I don't know. But either way, I think it was Chris who was talking earlier too. I think it was Shayna, and he said, you know, Misha's social game sucks really, really bad, and that's why she relies on Todrick's. And you know, Todrick relies on Misha for other things, because everything else Todrick does in the game sucks. And it's funny watching these people who seem to be quite close already talking about each other and sniping at each other this fast. That's what makes me think that these cracks are big enough for him to make a move to backdoor Todrick. There's a couple of days to go until the eviction. If Todrick can annoy Chris Kirkpatrick enough and piss him off a bit more, then he could end up on the block and out the door. This isn't me saying, oh, I really want this to happen. I'm saying I'm against it, of course, but this is the angle. This is the logical path of what could happen if Todrick continues to perpetually annoy him and just ride him up the wrong way. That could happen. I feel like I'm looking at all the angles right now, and I'm just thinking of all the different things that could happen. But if Todrick continues to go on the way he is, Chris Kirkpatrick could certainly flip and send him out the door. Cynthia spoke to Chris Kirkpatrick later with the company of Carson and said, if you are willing to make a big move, Chris, you've got our full support. And this is what we like to see. People ain't lying around. People aren't waiting for things to come to them. They are sat there. What it always reminds me of when, you know, the whole kind of people coming to them is Kemi from BB21. So many people kind of said, you know, she was robbed, and, you know, she was making the effort to stay, but she didn't. I remember the specific diary room where she basically said, you know, I'm waiting for the head of household to come to me. Kemi, the game doesn't work like that. I have no redemption for somebody who acts like that. It was entitled, and that's why when I see anybody go on like that, it reminds me of Kemi. So seeing Cynthia and Carson, can't get my words out there, Cynthia and Carson not sitting around and actually going to see Chris Kirkpatrick and talking about that, I respect it. You can't wait for people to come to you in the game of Big Brother. You've got to make the moves yourself. It's chess. It's you know, think about chess, right? You've got each side of the table. You've got the white side and the black side, and you know, white always moves first, then black goes, and then white moves, then black goes, and then white goes. And it's not a game of white goes, white goes, white goes, white goes, or it's not black goes, black goes, black. It's a game of you take turns. That's how chess works, and that's how Big Brother works. You know, it's you can't wait around for people to make all the moves. You've got to make moves yourself, or you're going to end up dead, essentially. Your game will be dead, and which is why I respect Cynthia and Carson saying, listen, if you want to make a big move, you've got our full support. That's what they need to do if they want to try and take Todrick out, or somebody bigger, or somebody more substantial as a target rather than Mirai or Chris Kattan this week. So respect to them for doing that. Now, on a sadder note, we saw a moment where Chris Kattan, I think, was talking to Chris Kirkpatrick and saying he might come out and just say something tomorrow, and that seemed to be in regards of quitting the game, unfortunately. Under normal circumstances, I would never support a quitter, and it's not me being biased because I really like Chris Kattan. He seems to have, I think, back problems, potential back injuries that have caused problems for him, potentially in this game. And I think I don't know if he's on medication or whatever, that's sending, his sleep schedule maybe a bit skew. If who knows, I don't know. But basically, he doesn't seem to be merging with everybody as much as everybody else is, if that makes sense. And it's not like he has purposely kept himself out of social situations. We saw in the episode the other day where, Mirai was really kind of distraught and felt distressed, and Chris Kattan reached out to her, gave her a hug and said, look, it's okay to feel that way, it's okay to feel down, it's okay when you're not feeling good, you just got to ride it out. And he gave her a hug, and that was so nice and lovely. And there's nothing about me that would hold anything against Chris Kattan if he quit the game. It's totally understandable. I think he might be under quite a lot of pressure in this game. It's a tough one. I don't think he's been affected by being nominated. I don't think he's that into the game that much. I think it's seriously just other factors. But my hopes are that I hope he feels better. I hope he gets well, or feels more comfortable within the house, and hopefully he stays and hopefully survives this week. And I really want him to go all the way. I really do. I like Chris Kattan a lot, so I'd love if everybody could spread some support and show some love for Chris Kattan in the comment section below, because I'm doing it right now. Chris Kattan, sending good vibes to you, sir. You're a legend. Hang on in there. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. Please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. How are you feeling with Chris Kirkpatrick's nominations? I feel like I'm going to just start calling him Chris in Sync. Let's just call him, because let's just say, and I said this on Twitter last night, and I was quite proud of this pun, those nominations are not in sync with me. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts. Would you like to see Chris Kattan safe? Would you like to see Mirai safe? Let me know all your thoughts, folks, in the comment section below. But I hope everybody is staying safe, staying positive, and staying healthy out there, and be kind to one another. That's an important one. Be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.